Well, I talk a lot about a spine of citizenship, and it means, equal rights, equal responsibilities, and roughly comparable services for all Canadians across the country. Take the example of healthcare. We've fought very hard to make sure that healthcare doesn't depend on your income. Access to healthcare doesn't depend on income. We don't want a country where it depends on where you live. And so you have a federal government to make sure that we get roughly comparable delivery of services. But that's kind of the passive part of this story. There's the kind of the rights and responsibilities and services you get as a citizen just sitting back. And then there's active citizenship. And what I see in the Liberal Party is active citizens. People coming out, coming to meetings, taking part in the policy process, sitting around with fellow citizens saying, how do we make the country better? That's the active part of citizenship. One of the things I most want to do is revive the Liberal Party of Canada as a group of citizens working together, and make sure that when they meet around their kitchen tables, down in the grassroots of the country and in their homes, we get a kind of channel right up to the cabinet room, get up to the leadership, so we listen. I've been very, very struck by, give you a very practical example. I go to Kitchener and Waterloo about 3 or 4 months ago, and a member of the Liberal Association there comes up to me, has this whole big paper he gives me about energy corridors. It's quite technical. It's about how you get energy generated in Manitoba into Northern Ontario. And he's retired, and he's thinking, well, one of the problems in Northern Ontario is energy costs are so high, right? It's very high in the pulp and paper business. It's high in all the big plants up there. How do we reduce the cost of energy? Well, one of the things we need to do is get some national energy corridors. This is a guy in Kitchener-Waterloo, a Liberal, working on what would make the country better. It's a little example, but if there's one example like that, there's 20.